Hello, I'm Professor von Schmohawk, and welcome to YU. In the previous lectures, we saw that we could change the form of a fraction without changing its value. For example, the fractions 1/2, 2/4, and 3/6 all have different forms but represent the same value. In this lecture, we will see how to change the form of fractions to eliminate what are called improper fractions. On the number line, any fraction that represents a distance less than 1 unit from the origin is considered to be a proper fraction. Likewise, any fraction whose distance from the origin is 1 or greater is called an improper fraction. You may recall from our lecture on integers that the distance from a number to the origin is called its magnitude or absolute value. For instance, the fractions 3/4 and -3/4 have opposite signs but the same magnitude since they are located the same distance from the origin. So instead of talking about distances from the origin, we can just say that any fraction whose absolute value is less than 1 is a proper fraction. An easy way to spot a proper fraction is that the absolute value of its numerator is less than the absolute value of its denominator. Likewise, an improper fraction is a fraction whose numerator has an absolute value greater than or equal to the absolute value of its denominator. There is nothing wrong with an improper fraction, but it is often clearer to represent such a quantity as a combination of an integer and a proper fraction. This is called a mixed number. On the number line, we can see that the improper fraction 5/2 represents the same value that we would get if we added the integers 2 and the proper fraction 1/2. Therefore, we can express this quantity as either an improper fraction 5/2 or as a mixed number 2 and 1/2. When is it clearer to use a mixed number rather than an improper fraction? If you ask a carpenter to cut a piece of wood 9 1/4 inches long, he will probably understand you better than if you ask him to cut a piece 37/4 of an inch long. On the other hand, when doing a math problem, it is perfectly correct and sometimes preferable to give an improper fraction as an answer unless your instructor has indicated otherwise. By using the number line, we can see how an improper fraction can be converted into a mixed number. Let's convert the improper fraction 9/4 into an equivalent mixed number. The denominator indicates that there are 4 divisions per unit length, and the numerator indicates that this fraction contains 9 of these divisions. Now, the number of unit lengths that can fit into this fraction determines the integer part of the mixed number. Since each unit length is composed of 4 divisions, we need to know how many times 4 goes into 9. When we divide 9 by 4, we find that 4 goes into 9 2 times, with a remainder of 1. So the equivalent mixed number is 2 and 1/4. So to convert an improper fraction into a mixed number, we divide the numerator by the denominator. The integer part of the quotient is the integer part of the mixed number, and the remainder over the denominator is the fractional part. Let's do one more example using the number line. We will convert the improper fraction 23/8 into an equivalent mixed number. The denominator indicates that there are 8 divisions per unit length, and the numerator indicates that this fraction contains 23 of these divisions. We divide the numerator by the denominator to determine the number of unit lengths that fit into this fraction, and we find that 8 goes into 23 2 times, with a remainder of 7. So the equivalent mixed number is 2 7/8. Converting a mixed number to an improper fraction is easy. For instance, let's say we wish to convert the mixed number 2 7/8 back into an improper fraction. We first need to know how many eighths the integer 2 represents. Since there are 8 divisions in each unit length, we simply multiply 2 times 8. In other words, we multiply the integer part of the mixed number times the denominator of the fractional part. And we find that the integer part of the mixed number is equal to 16/8. Since the fractional part of the mixed number is 7/8, we simply add these two fractions and we get 23/8. Arithmetic operations are often easier to perform using improper fractions rather than mixed numbers. If you encounter a math problem involving mixed numbers, you may find it easier to first convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions and then do the operations. The answer could then be converted back into a mixed number or left as an improper fraction. So far, we have seen how to express fractional quantities in various different equivalent forms. In the next lecture, we will see how to convert any fraction into an equivalent decimal number.